All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Thank you for taking time out of your day, one for yourself, most importantly, but just to hear about nutrition and wellness and just getting your mind right. This is like the perfect time to do so. You know, at the beginning of the year, we're all trying to just get it together, as we can, as we say. So we are so excited for this talk with Sarah today. And we at Trusted just want to thank you so much for joining us. For those of you all who may not know, Trusted is a travel nurse company that places nurses in all 50 states, but we also have a wealth of career resources from our blogs to our podcasts to even our community forum. So just, check us out in all different ways that we can just help you throughout your career and just nursing in general. So I will get started on this. I just wanted to let you all know about our platform here. So what you can do in the general section, you guys can say hello to each other and just shout out where you're from, or if you're a travel nurse, whatever you want, or even if you just want to say hey to us, that's cool too. So that's the general section. You can put your questions in there, or there's actually, if you toggle to the right, there's a Q&A portion, and you can upvote questions. If you see one that you actually like and you want to ask, you wanted to ask as well, you can actually upvote it, and I'll get to that a little bit quicker. Don't worry though. I will float all these questions to Sarah throughout the presentation. So don't feel like I'll miss anything. I'll make sure to go back, and if you need to ask it again or anything like that, I'll be manning the chat the whole time. So don't feel like we'll miss it out. Also, if you are having any audio or visual issues, what we like to say is to just go out and come back in. And in the beginning, it'll ask you to test your audio and visual. Do that. Also, use Chrome if you're not. Sometimes the phones are a little wonky. But we're trying to adapt. So if you just do that, and then if you're still having issues or problems, feel free to DM me. I'll be, like I said, manning the chat the entire time. And if that doesn't work, you can also hit the help button, and they can also help you through the process as well, just in case, you can't see us or hear us or anything like that. If you all have any other questions or need anything, I'll be here the whole time. And without further ado, let's get into this presentation with Sarah.
Thank you, Britt. Hey, everybody. My name is Sarah Enouen, and I'm the owner of Truly Well. I started Truly Well because I wanted to change the way that I was approaching fitness, and I wanted to take more of the wellness approach. And so that's where my passion is. I like to help people find sustainability in what they're doing in the healthiest way possible. I have certifications from Precision Nutrition in nutrition counseling. I have a biomethod mechanics, corrective exercise certification as well. So I do both physical training and nutrition coaching. Today, I'm going to get into some nutrition stuff with you guys. First up, I just want to cover wellness in general. What is wellness in general? It's more than just feeling good on the outside. To me, wellness is feeling good body and spirit. There's the mindful side of it. So you're going to be observing and aware. You have to get into the moment and be present in what you're doing. There's healthy habits. That's the consistency. So everybody's like, consistency is key. It is if you're using healthy habits. Healthy habits are going to take action. That's where you're going to come in and be doing things and put some intention behind it. That way you can make sure that you're being consistent in a healthy way. So that's why I like to put wellness together with mindfulness and the healthy habits. Britt, would you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. What is nutrition? You get a lot from nutrition, a lot. It fuels you. You get your energy from it. It comforts you. It makes you feel good in certain ways. But you can also get anxiety from food as well. Um, a lot of our mindset that's tied to food affects how well we do with healthy habits in nutrition. It takes a lot of time to prepare food, and it takes a lot of time to, even if you're not going to make the food yourself, it takes a lot of time to put effort into scheduling it for yourself. You need to know where you're going to get your meals. You need to know that you're going to have food available, because a lot of the choices that are out there are not healthy. And the big part of nutrition is remembering the mindset, it's keeping yourself in the mindset that you are worth taking care of yourself. You deserve all the time that it's going to take to get all of those healthy foods inside of your body. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Let's talk about mindset. All right. Um, Mindset when you're with nutrition, a lot of us have some really rigid ideas about food. And I welcome you guys to put some things here in the chat. How do you view carbs? What does the word carbs spark for you? How do you view pasta? Like, what do you think about bread? Are any of these foods good or bad? Are you labeling these foods in a way that any of that food is bad? That kind of mindset, that kind of all or nothing mindset can really hold us back when we're trying to make big changes with nutrition. And I like to look at it from the lens of how much of this food can my body have and it be healthy? Instead of, is this food good or bad? It's not, is this food good or bad? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some instances, if you're allergic to a food, that food is bad for your body. And that's for your body alone. A carby Barbie. Yes, I love it. Embrace the carbs. So think about looking at this food instead of saying pasta is bad, I need to avoid pasta. How much pasta can I eat and it still be healthy with everything else that I'm putting in my body? One thing that you guys can remember about nutrition that I think this point gets kind of diluted in a lot of the information that's out there is that your nutrition is averaging out in your body. You know, one meal is not going to affect your body that much. It's just not. One day of bad food isn't really going to affect your body that much. It's how much of that is being put in for the week and how much of those weeks are adding up into your month, into your year. You know, it's not that one food is good or bad. It's quantity and frequency. Quantity and frequency. What kind of views? I'm going to move on now to the next little point here for mindset. I also like to cover mindset for movement. How do you view exercise? How do you view fitness? How do you view moving? Some people think of cardio and they think of running until their legs fall off, but that's not the only way that you can get cardio in. The cardiovascular system, we just need to get our heart rates up above resting. You know, I like to tell people, if you're looking for a way to add movement into your life, instead of looking for what's out there, what's going to turn my body around, because that's not what we're trying to do, what kind of movement can you get in that's going to put a smile on your face? I think that's a more important question than what should you be doing to lose weight. What kind of movement can you do that's going to put a smile on your face? What kind of movement can you find that'll get your heart rate above resting for 10 minutes? What kind of movement can you find that will get your heart above resting and keep you happy and engaged for 20 minutes? Those are the kind of movements that you want to be going through. You don't want to be viewing exercise as a punishment, okay? You don't want to be viewing exercise as your right to food, as your passage to food. I can eat this because I have done this. That's not really how it's going to average out in the body. It's not. And a lot of our workouts are 1 hour or less. 1 hour is 4% of our day. 4%. There are so many other things that are going on as well. You know, you cannot, if your diet is full of unhealthy foods, you cannot outmove that. Now, another thing to think about for a mindset here is how you talk to yourself about your body. How have you labeled your body? How do you talk about your arms? How do you talk about your neck? How do you talk about your butt? What do you think about whenever you're talking about your legs? The way that you talk to yourself and the words that you use while you're talking to yourself are very important. very important. If you're using harsh words, if you're using words that have a negative connotation to them, you're going to take that in and start behaving in a negative manner towards your body. That's when you're going to want to punish yourself. That's when you're going to want to ignore the little things and just brush them over. Going back to before where I said you deserve the time that it takes to have healthy things available to you, this is part of that mindset. So the way that you talk to yourself, find a way to be compassionate in your speech when you're referring to your body. What's the tone of voice that you're using? Try to think about how you would talk to someone that you care dearly for. Maybe a person that's really young. I always tell people, how would you talk to a 4-year-old? You don't have to talk to yourself like you're a child, but you want to be able to tap into that same compassion for yourself as well. So I don't see anything coming up. Awesome. Once you're looking at what's holding you back in nutrition, when it comes to your health and your nutrition, I want you to start asking yourself why. So let's take this. I'm going to give you guys an example and kind of walk you through what I'm talking about here. So let's say, all right, I'm going to start a workout. It's an hour-long workout. Ugh, I just don't have time. Why don't I have time? Well, because I'm just so busy. I have so much for work to do. Well, why can I not make the time? Well, there's just not enough hours in the day. Well, why am I putting work above myself? Why am I valuing work above myself? I can't get 1 hour, which we've already discussed as 4% of the day. So going through and looking at the underlying setbacks. If you're not finding enough time to make it happen, why do you not deserve some time in this day? Why do you not deserve 30 minutes a day? Let's make it something that's attainable. Why do you not deserve that? And that's where you want to start looking to help making bigger changes whenever it comes to nutrition. Making big changes in nutrition is really challenging. There's a lot of information out there. It can almost be overwhelming. And like I said, some of the really important facts about nutrition get diluted in all the other messages that get put out there. We have to remember that nutrition has become an industry, and I'm sure like that's going to affect everything differently. People are now advertising for certain foods. They want everybody to feel that kale is a superfood and it's the way to go. But for some people, kale can cause inflammation and it's not going to be the best food possible. So that's why I think it's really important to start looking at foods from the lens of your food is nourishment. And it helps by knowing what the different nutrients are going to do within your body. Britt, if you're available for the next slide, this would be good timing for that. So let's cover today. I'm just going to talk about macronutrients today. Those are the larger nutrients. The size of the molecule is larger, and the amount that you need in your diet, you need more of it. So let's talk about protein first. Protein is a macronutrient. It's the building block within the body. The way that protein works in the body, your body breaks down protein into each separate amino acid that made that protein. There are, I believe it's 22, maybe 23 different amino acids total. And there are 9 essential amino acids. Your body breaks all of breaks the protein down into each individual amino acid and then stores it in an amino acid pool within the body. I don't know what that looks like, so I always just imagine like a blue pool of water, but amino acids. So after that happens, your body then goes and pulls from the amino acid pool to make its own sort of recipes for what it needs. There's a lot of things that get built from protein. You're recovering, so building the muscle. A lot of branched chain amino acids are used in that. So whenever you're sore and your body's able to recover and you're not sore anymore, it's pulling from those amino acids. It's pulling those specific amino acids that it needs. Immunity is also involved with protein. Whenever you're going to make enzymes, that comes from protein. Your body has to pull from the amino acid pool in the right recipe to make up those different enzymes to help your immune system. And then strength, as we talked about, building those muscles, though that's where protein is really necessary to have in the system so that you can build more muscle. I mentioned earlier that there were 9 essential amino acids. All that means is that those amino acids have to be ingested. Your body cannot produce them. A lot of the amino acids your body can produce with the use of others, or there are some that your body can produce. There are 9 that your body cannot, and you have to get them from foods. When you're looking at proteins, this is where if you hear someone talk about a complete protein, this is what they're talking about, whether it has those 9 essential amino acids or not. Any of your animal products are going to be complete proteins. And then if you're plant-based, there are some combinations that you can eat. You want to have them within the same 48 hours of each other. It doesn't even have to be the same meal. But black beans and brown rice are a combo that will give you a complete protein. They're super easy to eat in the same meal, so it's easy to guarantee you get them in. Also, lentils and sunflower seeds. Those are another complementary set of proteins that will give you the full range in the amino acids. You can, so I put a little star next to energy here for protein. Your body can get energy from protein, but it likes to get protein from carbs and fats. So mostly you're going to be getting recovery, immunity, and strength out of protein. I'm going to move on to fats now. Fats are a major source of energy. Your body stores fat in adipose tissue and pulls from that fat. When you're pulling from fat for energy, you're doing a lower intensity movement with a lower heart rate. That's when your body's going from fat. Lubrication, your skin, how like dry, if your skin is extremely dry, or if you cut the fat out of your diet, you could notice that your skin dries out, even your eyes, like the watering of your eyes. Fats play a role in that. Fat is also a transporter for vitamins. The A, D, E, and K vitamins all need fat in the bloodstream to be taken to the body and used as they need to be. And those are some of the micronutrients. I'm going to move on to carbs next. Not yet, sorry, Brett. Carbs also are stored energy, but carbs get stored into the muscle. When they're broken down into glucose, the glucose gets stored into the muscle. You pull from that energy whenever you're in high intensity work. And those glucose stores actually go pretty quickly. And then you move into a different energy system that will burn the carbs. But that stored energy, the glucose in the muscles, can determine like how much energy you have for your workout the next day. Brain function, there's a lot of brain function that depends on carbs. When you go into ketosis, it is actually the survival mechanism of the body because the brain doesn't have the fuel that it needs. So your body is producing those ketones to keep your brain in survival. For most people, ketosis is like going on that keto diet. It's a really extreme diet. So there are some medical conditions that it can be really beneficial for, but for the average person, going on the keto diet is a really extreme diet, and it's hard to maintain for that reason because it's so extreme. Now, after I've covered all of this information, I know it's a bunch. So here we can go on to the next slide, and I want to open it up to Q&A for you guys. So don't be shy. I want to see some comments pop up in the Q&A there. What questions do you have about nutrients or mindset or planning for food or anything like that so far? I'm going to give it just another little minute here so that give you some time to type.
You're just doing a great job, Sarah, that they just don't have any questions.
Just giving the breakdown. Okay, well, I haven't seen anything pop up yet, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. If you have anything, again, like Britt mentioned earlier, keep questions in the Q&A coming. If they come up, I don't have to have opened up for it. We'll come to it. So that way you don't forget. Now that we've covered the macronutrients, now I want to go more into where do you start? Like after you have that idea of those foods, these are what those nutrients are doing in your body. But what does that mean? How do you put them together? How many calories are you supposed to eat? Like there's so much that goes into it. There is a simple formula that you can put together. So if you take your current body weight, multiply it by 10, that's about how many calories your body is going to burn if you just get up and go to the couch and like binge watch TV all day. That's the calories that your body is going to burn doing absolutely nothing. And for a lot of people, this can be an eye-opening number, because I have heard most people, when I'm like, okay, you're trying to lean out, how many calories are you eating? Most people tell me 1,200. That's a really low number. I don't really recommend 1,200 calories to many people. It is like whenever I'm doing my nutrition studies, and I've gotten 3 different certifications so far, every time I've gotten a certification, 1,200 is what they tell you is the medical number. It's not medically recommended to go lower than 1,200 calories for most people. And they've told me that in all 3 of my certifications. So someone put that number out on the internet and decided to say, hey guys, this is the number. This is the number. That's not how we want to do this. That is a really stressful thing to do to the body. And we're really getting a lot more information now too about how much nutritional stress can cause cortisol levels to rise in females. There's probably all kinds of reasons to go behind it, but the information has been coming out that stress from dieting can cause your cortisol levels to raise. Cortisol causes the body to store fat in the belly area. It's known. So you don't want to be stressing yourself out physically and then mentally on top of that. You don't want to be depleting your brain of those precious nutrients that it needs so that you can make it through the changes that you're trying to do, so you can make it through the habits that you're going to try to change. So
Sarah.
that's where we're going, Sarah.
Okay.
And that's a good question. Sarah asked, what's the number that you would multiply your weight by if you want to lose weight? And that's where we're going next. That's what we're taking into consideration here. So what's really important to know is the number of calories that your body needs to do its survival thing. Survival is current weight times 10. Okay. Now, when we're figuring out where you want to go from there in terms of putting calories in, you want to look at your activity levels. Are you mostly sedentary? If you're mostly seated for most of the day, then you could probably start by adding 150 to 300 calories on top of that. Okay. And you could start there. And that would be a good starting place. That would probably put you at leaning out. We'll talk a little bit more about macronutrients from there. But if you are wanting to maintain, then you could add probably 300 to 450 calories to that number of your weight times 10. And if you wanted to gain, if you were trying to gain, then you'll probably want to start out adding 500 calories a day. For gaining, that's just a really simple place to start if you're trying to add calories. And it's going to be different for every person. It's not a magic number. Not every person is going to be able to do the same. There are genetic body types, and I'm going to be covering those on the next slide. So we'll get to those. I'm not going to go there just yet, though. So I do want to look at this macronutrient range. And the reason I put it on this slide first is so that you guys can see how wide the range of healthy is. And that's also why it's so hard to know where to go with this. That's why we're going to bring the genetic body type in. With protein, you can be healthy. I've seen as the numbers as little as 10%, but I feel like 15 to 45%. That's a wide range. Fat 20 to 50%, carbs 25 to 55% is a healthy range for carbs. That's a huge variable in terms of the numbers. But can we go to the next slide? We're going to talk about the genetic body types. There are 3 of them. I'm going to cover them one at a time. The first body type that I'll cover will be endomorph. This body type is naturally has a higher body fat percentage. Endomorphs gain muscle easily. Like if you want to gain some lean muscle, it's going to happen. Endomorphs gain fat easily. It's more challenging for endomorphs to lose fat because they naturally have a higher body fat percentage. Also with that, sometimes you can have a sensitivity to carbs if you're an endomorph, and that means the way that your body reacts to insulin, which directly gives your body the clues. Like that's like your what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe like the mainframe. And yes, we are also getting there onto the combination of these body types. That will be coming after we go over all three, because I'll show you exactly where you'll fall in. Good questions. I love these. So the healthy ranges for macronutrients here. Healthy ranges for macronutrients, protein. With an endomorph, you can go down to 25%. And I know I put 30 on there, but oh, sorry. For protein, yeah, 30 to 45% for protein. I would recommend going higher in protein. I'm sorry, I just confused myself there. So for protein, 30 to 45%, fats 30 to 45%, carbs as low as 25%, up to 40%, depending on your activity levels. Okay, so even within the body type that you are planning for, you can still go by your activity levels. Okay, so you could go a little to the lower end of carbs if you don't get into high intensity work. But if you do high intensity movement, you may need to be up at 35-40% carbs to support that movement. Next slide, please, Britt. The next genetic body type that we're going to talk about is on the other end of things, ectomorphs. Ectomorphs are naturally very lean. They do not gain muscle or fat easily. Like they stay lean, oftentimes have a very slender figure, and struggle with gaining weight. High metabolism, carb intake can be very high. If you're doing high intensity sports as an ectomorph, you can bet that you might be 55, and if you're professional level, maybe even 60 to 65% carbs. I've seen some meal plans for some professional athletes when they're training for races where they'll have days that they are at really high carbs and their body just burns through them. Their body is very efficient with the way that it processes carbs and uses them for energy. Healthy ranges here, protein, you can take it pretty high, especially if you want to retain the muscle or you want to build muscle. So that higher range of protein can be really important for ectomorphs if you're trying to gain. With fats, 20 to 35%, carbs, 40 to 55% for an ectomorph. Next slide, please. So mesomorphs. Mesomorphs are kind of in the middle. Mesomorphs gain muscle. They can gain fat easily, but they can lose fat easily too. And they are very naturally athletic. Like you'll notice a mesomorph because a lot of times they might have that V shape to their body. So there are plenty of professional athletes that are probably just bullseye mesomorphs out there. The ranges for the macronutrients here tend to be a lot more even. So 20 to 35% for protein, 25 to 40% for fat, and 35 to 50% for carbs, just depending on how active you are. Take all of that with your activity level. Next slide, please. So your genetic body type generally is going to fall on a spectrum. And the reason that I drew it this way on the slide is because you're going to fall in between mesomorph and endomorph, or mesomorph and ectomorph, somewhere in between the two. I use myself as an example because I can only speak from personal experience, and I put that little icon there to show you like where I believe I fall on that spectrum there. That's where I feel I am. You know, I typically have always had muscle tone even without lifting. And then I started lifting and quit lifting and didn't lose the muscle tone. So that's how I kind of just determined where I was at, you know, years of training. So it was pretty easy for me to determine that. A lot of people want to put themselves really far on the scale for the endomorph, just because they hear that it naturally has a higher body fat percentage. Many people often lie somewhere in the middle between the two, though. Um, let's see. Let's open it up for questions here about determining caloric intake, or determining where you want to be with your macronutrients or putting them together. What questions do you guys have here? Does protein affect your metabolism? Um, so the way that all of these nutrients come together in the body affects your metabolism. So let's put it this way. A lot of you have probably heard that if you eat too much protein, your body turns it into fat. Or if you eat too many carbs, your body turns it into fat. Well, your body is going to store fat when you have excess. So once you've burned through all of the energy that you need, what's left over is going to be stored. It is really easy for your body to store fat because it doesn't have to convert it. So your body will do is use the energy from carbs and protein and just store the fat. And that's how sometimes if alcohol intake is not included, your calories can be lower. But if you're not including the alcohol calories, your body's getting energy from the alcohol. So it's not actually using the nutrients from the food. It's going to store that for later and use what's readily available and use what's quickly available. So protein can affect your metabolism in depending on how you put everything together within the body. Did that answer that question for you? Okay, cool. All right. I don't see. Oh, how do you differentiate between being an overweight mesomorph versus endomorph? Okay. How do you determine? There is a medical guideline for being overweight. For females, it's 32% body fat, and for males, it's 25% body fat. Once you get over that number, that's considered medically overweight. That finding out your body fat percentage is going to be the best way to gauge where you are on that spectrum. Also, you want to take your activity levels. If you're pretty active, if you were typically pretty active, and then now you're not active and your body has changed, that could be a good indicator for you as well. Typically, an endomorph has been the same size a lot longer, or felt a lot of endomorphs feel that they've been the same size a lot longer, like as a child, been overweight as a child. So that is one way of determining. It is really a personal, it's a personal decision that you can come to and try to find your numbers matching where you think you are on the spectrum. However, if what you're doing isn't working, you can always make changes. You guys don't have to get stuck into a certain percentage just because you think that it's going to be the best thing. If your body is telling you that it's not happy, like your energy levels are really low, or you're getting brain fog, if you have a lot of brain fog and your energy levels are low, those are signs that your nutrition needs some attention. Your nutrition needs some adjustments. Brain fog can really be affected by your blood sugar being too low, and that can really be affected by having long periods of time without food. And if you are not putting your food together with all of the nutrients, if you're just eating like solid carbs and they're easily processed and quickly processed by the body, that can start to cause trouble with the blood sugar, and that can start to cause hormonal imbalances within the body. Sorry, I give so much knowledge for like one answer. I'll try to keep them shorter. I don't see any other questions popping up. We are flying right through. All right. I want to talk about mindfulness and movement before we get into this workout. I am 41 years old. So one thing that I've been noticing is I feel like the connection with certain parts of my body will it's starting to kind of weaken a little bit. So I have to remember to be really present within my body and look out for my posture, because I feel like the connection that I had to a lot of my abdominal muscles and my stabilizing muscles, my pelvic floor muscles, that connection is starting to become a little spotty, if you will. And I don't want that to happen. Ooh, how do you lower the cortisol level? Okay, maybe we'll circle back to that. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to stay present within the body as I'm moving and as I'm awake. We have to remember that seated is a posture. It's not turning off. So I'm going to invite you now, wherever you are, come to seated and try to feel that the bottoms of your feet are on the floor. See if you can feel that the bottoms of your feet are on the floor. I'm sitting on a stability ball. I got rid of my chair and it's been great. So now I want you to push back into your feet and feel that you can tuck your hips and bring your shoulders over your hips. Yeah, maybe even make a couple of quick little circles if it's available to you. Yeah, and seated back. Now feel the difference in the body when you're seated up nice and tall, holding yourself up, versus when you're hunched over and crowded. You're going to get tight in areas that don't need to be that tight. And those muscles are also going to be weak because they're not really getting used. They're just getting held in these tense positions without a lot of blood flow. So you want to remember to plant your feet on the ground when you're seated. Remember to adjust your posture. Remember to correct your posture every couple of minutes. Standing is a posture. And I'm going to go ahead and stand myself and adjust my camera over a little bit so that I'll be ready whenever we do the workout. I've got a stand over here. So I'm going to come to standing myself as we talk about the standing posture. There are some things that you can do to help yourself have good and stable hips. And this will improve knee health. It will also improve lower back health. So whenever you come to standing, you want to be able to stand with your feet hip distance apart. And you want to be able to have your ear over your shoulder, over your waist, over your ankle. Now, as you're standing, keep your feet flat on the floor and gently put a little bit of pressure outward with your feet, as if you were going to slide into the splits, but your feet won't move. As if you were going to slide into the splits, but your feet won't move. And now I want you to gently think about rotating your inner thighs out as you stand and feel that stability in the hips. Feel that stability in the hips, the feet spreading apart from each other without moving and rotating the thighs out. So this is how you can find stability in the hips while you're standing. This will greatly impact your low back and your knees. Also remember that lying is a posture as well. When you're lying down, make sure that you can find a position that's healthy for your spine. Try to find your spine in a straight position. And if you have to, move yourself every 10 to 15 minutes. Some of the things that are so bad about these postures that we take is that we turn off, we lose blood flow, and we're in them for a long time. So even if you're lying down, it's okay to lie down, but maybe just shift your body a little bit in some sort of way every 10 or 15 minutes and remain mindful in the body. Alrighty, the things that you guys can improve if you become mindful within the body throughout the day, so much. Your muscle tone will become greater. You'll find your overall strength will get better. That's one thing that I've noticed for myself personally. When I took the time to get into my stabilizing muscles, my overall strength was so much better. I felt so stable and so strong within my body whenever I started to really get into correcting some of the imbalances that I had within the body. Let's see. I do want to circle back. We did have someone ask Oh, good. We've got several questions. Okay, so before we get into the workout, someone asked, how can you lower your cortisol levels? Breath work is one of the main things. A shallow breath is really dangerous for stress and anxiety. So you want to make sure to be mindful about your breath. Try to make sure that you feel your lungs expand when you inhale and feel them release the air as you exhale. Let your breaths out take some time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale long. That is a natural way to tell your body to calm down. The vagus nerve that comes down the sides of the neck, it is directly affected by breath, especially when inhaling through the nose and then breathing out slowly through the mouth. Another thing that you can do during the day to help your body stay out of that anxious state is by taking your posture. Make sure you're not leaning forward. So if you're seated, make sure you're not leaning forward. And if you're standing, try not to be leaning forward. Try to relax, open up a little bit, give yourself some chest openers, however you can. And then my last little tidbit for that is meditation. It is a really hard thing to sometimes set up for yourself, but after you get into it, you really do notice a difference and your reaction to other things. Meditation is it's basically you're reparenting yourself. You're just training yourself to react to stressors differently. But you have to do that in a really calm place because you can't retrain yourself how to act to stressors in the midst of a really stressful situation. So that's why meditation is really important. If you guys need a guided meditation on my Instagram handle is @trulywellhealth. Under my IGTVs, I do have some guided meditations there if you guys want to just explore a little bit and have like a free option to try some meditation and have somebody walk you through it. I've got some that are on there. The next question that we had was, how often should I be eating? Should I be eating smaller meals more frequently or standard 3 meals per day? This is a really good question. And I feel like the nurses that I know in the community always struggle because sometimes you may end up with so many hours in between. What I try to tell everyone is try not to go more than 5 hours without getting some nutrients into your body, especially once you've started moving and once you've started going. And really try to tune in and listen to your body. If you're having a hard time and you don't know where to start, 4 meals is a really great place to be 4 times a day. That could be a smoothie, that could be a salad, that could be some chili, and then that could be a pasta dish. That's 4 meals right there. So that's a really good place to start. Try not to eat or try not to go more than 5 hours in between your meals. All right. Now, I believe it's time to move. I don't see any more questions. Yeah. All right. Great work, my friends. I love this. I love this interacting. So, I'm going to invite you guys to stand up wherever you are. We're going to do a body weight HIIT workout here. If you've never boxed, don't worry. This is set up for beginners. It's a boxing HIIT workout. I'm going to spend the first 5 minutes here with you guys just teaching you the basics of boxing and punching and getting you a little bit comfortable, and then we'll go into the HIIT portion of it. All righty. Come up onto your feet. Bring your arms up overhead and then reach down for your toes. Arms up overhead. Reach down for your toes. One more time. Arms up overhead. Reach down for your toes. Stand it up. Give yourself a high five. Okay. Now that we're standing, I am right-handed. So that's my power side. Whatever side you feel like is your strong side, put that foot in the back. Put your power foot in the back. And when you stand, you've got one foot behind the other, just like this. Bring your hands by your face because you always want to protect your beautiful face. Now, we're going to move around here. So we're going to come forward, stepping with the front foot first and dragging the back foot. We're going to move backward, back foot first, drag the front foot. Okay, so that we can always stay in your stance. Left to right is the same thing. Move the side that's out there first And then, so always move the outside and then the inside. We're going to do a punch with the same side as your front foot and take a baby step forward while we do that and pull it back. Pop and back. Pop and back. Baby step forward while you turn that thumb towards the floor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to throw a straight punch with the same side as the back foot. Leave your foot behind. Push through the ball of your foot, and you're going to rotate as you throw that arm nice and straight. You're kind of going to bring your shoulder by your chin, and then rotate back whenever you bring it back. Boom and ah, boom and ah. So now what we'll do, we'll throw 3 jabs, 3 crosses. 3 with the front foot, 3 on the same side as the front foot, 3 on the same side as the back foot. All right, ready? Here we go. Jab, 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 and cross, cross, cross. Beautiful. We're doing it again. Jab, 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 cross, cross, cross. Jab, 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 cross, cross, cross. One more time. Jab, 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 cross, cross, cross. We're going to put these 2 punches together back to back. A jab with the front side, a cross with the rear side. Jab, cross. Just like that. Jab, cross, and back. Jab, cross, and back. Let's work on those. Try to keep 1 foot in the back, 1 foot in the front. Shh, shh. Breathe out every time you punch. Shh, shh. Use that breath. Shh, shh. Shh, shh. Shh, shh. Shh, shh. Okay, so next up, I'm going to teach you how to throw a hook. These hooks, we're trying to knock somebody out. So aim high, jaw level, and turn the side of your hand towards where you're going to punch. So thumbs towards the ceiling, and this part of your hand, all those knuckles coming around like that as we throw that punch. So I'm going to take a little step and pivot with my hip, and I'm going to step and pivot here. When I throw my hook, I'm going to step forward and pivot so that I can close the distance, all right? So I'm going to hook, 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 hook. Let's go back and forth on either side. 20 seconds here. Here we go. Beautiful. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. The last punch I'm going to teach you is going to be an uppercut. Uppercut. So you've got your power foot in the back. We're going to come through and reach up with the top part of our hand, trying to hit them in the jaw. You can also do like kind of an uppercut to the body as well. So as we throw those, power foot in the back, boom, 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 back and forth. Let's do those for 20 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, friends. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put together, bloop, bloop. Oh, we're going to put together one little combination of punches. It's going to be 3 punches that we put together. We're going to throw a jab with the front side, a cross with the back side, and a hook with the front side. All right? Power side in the back. Jab, cross, hook. 3 punches. If you're right-handed, it's left, right, left. If you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, it's right, left, right. If you're right-handed, left, right, left. If you're left-handed, right, left, right. Oh my goodness. All right. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. We're going to throw this combination for 30 seconds. Just do your best. Do your best. We're just here to move and have some fun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Remember to breathe out when you punch. Keep going, my friends. 15 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. We're going to take it into 30 seconds of squats. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squat and up. Now, whenever we did that standing posture, I talked to you guys about spreading the feet apart, like you're going to rip 2 wet paper towels apart. So we can do that here. Spread the feet apart as if you were going to rip 2 paper towels apart. Rotate out with the thighs a little bit. Try to shine the middle of the thighs forward. 3, 2, 1. Great job. Take a quick little 10-second break, and then we're going to go back into boxing. 30 seconds of that jab, cross, hook. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Jab, cross, hook. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Squats for 30 seconds. Ready, go. A little bit of outward pressure with the feet, but don't take your feet wide. Try to have your feet hip to shoulder distance apart. A little bit of pressure along the outside edge of the foot. Less than 10 seconds to go here. Coming up on round 3 next. 30 seconds of punches. And time. Take a 10-second breather here. We're doing round 3. 30 seconds of punches. 30 seconds of squats. Sweaty, sweaty. All right, round 3 starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jab, cross, hook. 12 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Squats for 30 seconds. Let's get it. "15 seconds here. We're going to do one more round. One more round. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest for 10 seconds. Last round. Punches starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. "15 to go. And time. Take it into squats. Down and up. Half a minute here. "10 seconds to go. And time. Nice job. Grab a towel if you need it. I'm going to give you 20 seconds, and then I'm going to show you a new combination. 20 seconds, and then I'm going to show you a new combination. Whew. Okay, my friends, let's build up a new combination here. Your power side is still in the back, so you don't switch your feet. Your feet stay in the same position. We're going to start off on your power side. We're going to come out strong with a cross, jab, and a hook to the body, okay? Cross, jab, hook to the body. So you're going to go rear, lead, rear with your punches. Rear, lead, rear with your punches. Straight, straight, hook. Straight, straight, hook. Cross, jab, hook. Let's work that out for a second, and then we'll work on it for 30 seconds. All right, my friends. Here we go. We're going to go for 30 seconds. After we're done here, we're going to take it into lunges. We'll go down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Power foot in the back. Cross, jab, hook. Rear, lead, rear. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. 30 seconds in lunges. Here we go. Down and up. Down and up. If you're up for a challenge, you can take it into jump lunges. If you're up for the challenge, take it into jump lunges. 30 seconds. We've got 15 of them left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a 10-second breather here. We're going back in for round 2. Cross, jab, hook. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. $12 to go. Get ready for lunges. 3, 2, 1. Lunges. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Beautiful work, my friends. Beautiful work. Keep moving. You got this. You got this. Gotta get that blood pumping. Get that blood pumping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. You got a 10-second breather. Round 3 coming up. Round 3 coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ten seconds. Four, 3, 2, 1. Lunges, 30 seconds. Woo-wee. Good job, my friends. Ooh, if you're still moving, I am so proud of you. High intensity work. It doesn't take much. 10 seconds to go here, and then we go into our last round. 4, 3, 2, 1. 10-second breather. We're going into the last round. Last round, y'all. You got this. All right, my friends. 3, 2, 1. Punches, 30 seconds. Seconds to go. And lunges. Last time. Let's do it. Maybe reach your arms out in front of you, long reach. Get your abs turned on. Active arms equals more supportive core. Active arms, more supportive core. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. We are going to do a quick little burnout, my friends. Quick little burnout. Woo! All right. I want you to get in your stance. And I want you to throw 20 punches as fast as you can, and then 20 jumping jacks. And it's going to be 10 punches, 10 jumping jacks. All right? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 20, 19, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jumping jacks for 20. After 20 is 10. And 10 jumping jacks. Three, 2, 1. Ah, Trusted Health. Thank you guys so much for having me. I hope you guys took away some really great information, and I hope to see y'all soon.
Woo! I tell you guys, I'm sweating. My bangs, I try to make them look a little bit better, but your girl is sweating. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for everyone coming. I think we do have actually a couple more questions, Sarah,
Ooh,
that came in. I just want to make sure I get everyone's questions answered. Um,
yes.
I
So for
have a very
plant-based,
slow digestion process and I work
oh,
nights. When is the best time to eat?
slow digestion process. I feel like spacing it out and having smaller meals would be easier to help your metabolism keep up if you're trying to eat a certain number of calories that you're not used to. Or if you're trying to get in a bunch of food or you know how much food you want, maybe break it up into 4 or 5 smaller meals every 4 hours. And that way you give your body time to process what you take in. That could be a good option there. And then, it's okay, Shiva. You're okay, baby. She's like, it's dinner time. And then the vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. Hard to get protein in without adding carbs. I've gained weight since losing meat. Okay, so vegetarian can be challenging. You want to try to keep your foods as clean as possible, the whole foods as possible. So you want to be using things that are the actual food. Like you don't want to use the processed food, or you want to cook it yourself if you can. That'll be really helpful. The other thing with vegetarian is you can also use protein powders. You can use a plant-based protein powder to help you get in more protein within your meals. It's really great to add to your smoothies. You can do collagen powder, plant-based protein, or you'd have to do a plant-based collagen, but you could add that to your smoothies, and it's a really good way to get in extra protein. If you don't need the calories from the smoothie, you could just add water if it's a good flavor, or you could do like some sort of milk. I do soy milk because it has more protein.
All right. So I think we answered. If anyone does have anything else, just feel free to chat it in there. But thank you so much, Sarah, for joining on us and hosting tonight. And thank you to all of our nurses for everything you're doing out there. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Please be sure to just jot out down any feedback within our survey that we'll send out really shortly after this event. And this is how we get better. So we just want to hear from you, anything. And we, again, appreciate you so much. And if you need anything, just please feel free to reach out. There will be an email that links this presentation and everything in it shortly after this as well. So look out for that in the feedback survey. We have one more question. Is it better to eat a small meal before or after exercising?
That is a personal choice. Some people are not comfortable moving with food in their bellies. It can get kind of uncomfortable. Some people have guts of steel that can take anything. So if you have a problem getting nauseous during your workout, then you might try eating something that is easily absorbed by the body 30 to 45 minutes before, maybe even an hour before. So, like a piece of toast with peanut butter on it would be a really good small snack to eat beforehand. And then if you're waiting until after, you could go for whatever after.
Awesome,
You guys have great
awesome.
questions. I love it.
Yeah, it was so great. I think those are the last couple of questions we have. So feel free. I linked Sarah's website and I'll be linking again as well in the email that I'll send out to you guys. So feel free to reach out to her if you need anything or if you have any more questions. She'd love that.
My
So
website is also my Instagram handle. You can DM me there.
there we go. And I'll add that and link that in the email, her Instagram as well on her name. So yeah, so if, without further ado, we thank you guys again so much for joining us tonight. And we hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.